Shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Waharakah Kodash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And honor to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching His word in all sincerity and in truth. And see this guy, Trump, man. We told you, man. Listen, there are no good guys, man. All right. When it comes to Esau, Edom, there are no good sides. There are no good guys. The left and the right is just a psyop on people's minds. All right. These people are all demons. They're all devils. Right. They try to play a little role, but it's not real. Now, Trump, the media tried to paint Trump as anti-LGBT, which is far from the truth. All right. Every president that's been elected in America has had policies which are favorable towards LGBTQ. That's a fact. All right. But they always have to set up this, left-right false paradigm. So it's like they made it look like Trump was anti-LGBT, which is not true, because he chose Scott Bessent, who is a latent homo, to be his Treasury Secretary, and Scott Bessent is married to a man, and he's adopted 2 children. So that just shows you what Trump represents. All right, but these, the right wingers, they're so Christian and conservative. It's all BS. So an act, because listen to this.
It shocked you, like everyone else in the world was like, this is the greatest thing, and I think what you're doing is phenomenal, and I was shocked that
Get your tongue out of his asshole, son. Dogs do that.
Many activists like in America didn't like it, but meanwhile they're like, oh, well, we support women, we want women to have all these rights. Meanwhile, you're liberating.
These men only support women as far as it destroyed the family. These men don't care about women and their rights. These dudes traffic women. You know what I mean? Hell out of here, man.
The women of Iran, and then they have an issue with it. I thought that was very confusing.
We support gays, but they throw gays off the building.
You support gays. See? So, you see my point? This guy was supposed to be Christian, conservative, the Messiah. He believes in family values. He's anti-LGBT. What did he just say? Which is the truth. He supports the gays. He also supports transgenders. Because what did he come out the other day and say? Oh, well, he didn't ban it. He said, yeah, you can have the transgender surgery as long as your parents consent. This is a joke, man.
Okay, we support this. I mean, the things they do, and they're fighting. But I think I have tremendous support on this. This is something that's been incredible.
All right. So like the caption says, Trump and Iran, we support gays, but they throw gays off buildings. We have to wipe out the evil. It's an evil curse. They're evil people. So they're evil because they're anti-gay. This is crazy. This is the confusion, the moral confusion that is Babylon. It's all hypocrisy and lies. But we know what the scriptures say. All right, America is spiritual Sodom and Egypt. So why you expect anything different? The only thing that America is good at is depravity and oppression. That's why it's spiritually Sodom and Egypt, right? Revelations 11 and 8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. That's America. All right? America is the seat of anti-Messiahism, man. It's against the word of the Lord. It's against the light of the Lord. It's against Yahushai completely. That place is a complete mess. And that's why it's going to be destroyed with great destruction. And we're seeing the mechanizations of that destruction unfold before our eyes. All right? This is 2 Peter's 2 and 6, it says, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, which is what's going to happen to Babylon. Right? That's what's going to happen to America. It's going to get turned into ashes. Condemn them with an overflow, making them an example unto those after that should live ungodly. And these Edomites in America, beginning with their elites, they live ungodly. The chief of their witchcraft is sodomism, especially to do with children. All right, they're all sodomites, whether they're sodomites publicly or sodomites behind closed doors. Sodomism is at the heart and the root of America, man, because it is spiritual Sodom. These are facts. Trump is a sodomite. Biden was. They're all sodomites. Bill Clinton, the whole bag of them. All right. And you can add every other depravity onto that. And that's one of the reasons why the Lord is leading America into the fire. Okay, we're seeing the fruits of arrogance, lies, deception, and hypocrisy, and it's leading a Babylon down the path of destruction. Beautiful stuff.
Ready Group. Some breaking news coming out of the US regarding the ongoing situation in the Middle East. We're hearing from our colleagues at NBC that approximately 5,000 additional Marines and sailors are deploying to the area to support the war in Iran. This is according to 3 UN.
According to them, it's not a war. It's an incursion. These people are jokers, man.
Officials speaking to NBC. The service members make up an amphibious ready group and marine expeditionary unit known as ARG and MEU. Now we're told that an MEU is notable because they are trained for crisis response, evacuations from dangerous areas, protecting embassies, etc. Also trained to be the first ones in on the ground to set up areas for other forces.
Good luck with that.
CENTCOM, we're told, requested the additional...
And all of this is making America look weak. To the enemy, to Russia, China, they look weak. To the nations that were on the fence, a lot of nations is looking at it like, yo, this American bully, he can't really protect you anyway. We might have to just switch over to the other side. Because this Iran thing is exposed in America. See, America's been weight bullying for a long time. They've been getting away with it. They've been getting away with it, man. Now they're looking weak. It's like, hold on, you gotta move soldiers and equipment to the Middle East to deal with Iran. Hold on, so that leaves you vulnerable elsewhere too. You got to think about that. If you're running a global empire, and the whole purpose of these military bases and these aircraft carriers is to project your menacing military throughout the entire world, the more you get sucked into one particular region, well, that leaves you weak in other regions. So when you're pulling men and resources out of the Pacific and into the Middle East, now China's looking at you over there like, hold on, you're weak. Well, you ain't gonna be able to step to us over here while you're dealing with that. And this is all what's gonna help the World War III to become global, because America's spread thin. And they're going to be drawn into that Middle East, and it's going to leave them thin everywhere else, which makes people more likely to want to buck up. It's beautiful stuff, man. This is Joel 2 and 20 says, but I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a barren and desolate, a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, and his stink shall come up, and his savor shall come up, because he have done great things. So the Lord's going to draw these men out into CENTCOM, man, that central area, man, and they're going to be dying over there. This is why they're going to need a draft, because you see, America's been used to doing this. We just bomb them from the air and everything's blessed. Iraq had like 40,000 soldiers. Iran has 1 million. This is not the same game that you're playing. And it's going to lead to casualties. and casualties lead to a necessity to a draft. This is what happened in World War One. So many soldiers died in World War One. That's why they had to have the draft. In the first 2-3 weeks of the war, just bare man are dead. So, we need more men for the meat grinder. And that's exactly what's going to happen. The American army is going to start going through these soldiers just the same way they're going through these missiles, and they're going to need more of them. And a lot of people ain't going to want to sign up to go. So they're going to have to do a draft, right? They're going to have to do a draft, and guess what? If your draft number comes up, right, you're going to have that chip, and if you don't want to go fight, guess what? You ain't going to eat. They're going to cut you off. They're going to say you're not a citizen. Yeah, so if your number comes up, you're going to have to go, because the MOTB, through the midst of all these crises, it's gonna have to be enforced in order to manage the resources, to manage the food, to manage the finances, because this thing is gonna start collapsing on all ends. Right, but we gotta be patient still. It's gotta cook some more. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this. Second Esdras 16. Let's start from 21. It says, "Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, the sword, which we're seeing that, famine, which we're seeing that, war." We've said this for years. War can and will cause famine for various reasons, logistical reasons, financial reasons, right? And great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. And you see that. Famine, lack of water, right? And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. The dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. Right? Meaning it's going to get to a point where so many people are dying, there ain't going to be no funerals. Funerals is a luxury. For the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down, because eventually this war that is going to, the epicenter of which is going to be in the Middle East, is going to branch out throughout the entire earth. And these cities are going to become targets for all the different various armies, man. Cities in Europe, cities in Asia, cities in South America, going to be targets. Right? Because this thing is gonna so what they call it, snowball. Right now it looks like a war or a little engagement between Israel, Iran, and America. But more nations are going to be drawn into this thing. Now, is that going to happen today? Probably not. A week, 2 weeks? Probably not. But eventually, that's how it's going to go. Right? This thing doesn't have to unfold in one day. Right? And brothers have to remember that too. This thing could get to a point, it could stabilize, it can drop back, and then it can go again. That's how the thing go. It's all in the Lord's will, but we know that the inevitability of the final battle is there, and the final solution, which is them thermonuclear missiles, man, and the return of our Lord. So we just patiently watch, and it's sensational stuff. I'll tell you that for free. Sensational, right? And there shall be no man left to till the earth. And that shows you how great of a death these last prophecies are going to bring. Between the war and the domestic violence, race wars, class wars, between the war and all these different things, and a lot of people are going to die, man. Billions of people are going to die across the world. Certain places are going to be depopulated completely. Right? Certain places are set up to be depopulated. Like, you look at a lot of them places in the Middle East, man. Without water, they're all going to die. Them desalination plants get blown up here. It's peak times. It's peak. It's not looking good, bruv. Right? There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. The tree shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? Yeah, because it's going to be mass depopulation. The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men. See, all places. So this thing isn't just going to be to one place, so that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. For of the city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks. As in an orchard of olives, upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives. Or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently search through the vineyard. Even so in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old. You know what that means? Like right now, you have situations. Let's say you got Central Park. Central Park is kept. Well, actually, that's not even a good example because Central Park's gonna be ashes. But you got, like, say in London, you got Hyde Park and these different areas, and most green spaces that you see within the city boundaries and even other places, they're kept. They have a groundsman that keeps it, so that everything is nice. And that if there's no one to do that job, it just becomes overgrown and starts to go back to the wild. You understand? So that's why it means by the fields thereof wax old, and her ways on all her paths shall grow full of thorns. So you got roads and pathways that's used to people treading them, keeps them clear. Well, if you got less people, then they just overgrow. That's how you get cities in South America that disappear into the jungle because no one ain't living there no more. The jungle just takes it. That's what's going to happen again. That's what listen. And her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel through her. The virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish with famine. So all men are going to be churned up by this war. This is a war of machines. Man are going to be getting chopped down by machine gun fire and missiles, man. And that's why we used to call World War III the great meat grinder of the Lord. That's what it is. It's a meat grinder. That's what World War I was. That's what World War II was. You got situations where dudes are just getting sent in and wave after wave just getting chopped down. It's a meat grinder. Like, where's the purpose of this? Just to die. Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Behold the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Like, you got a whole bunch of our people, especially among you Benjamites now. You guys are Muslims now, all up celebrating Ramadan and that. Or taking part in Ramadan. I don't know if you call it celebrating, man, but you're taking part in Ramadan. You niggas is almost like every Negro is a Muslim now. They're taking the Shahada. Your favorite rapper taking the Shahada. Like, what's going on? What's wrong with you, man? And that just shows you, man, wide is the gate, man. Them niggas are gonna be destroyed. And they all know about the Hebrews, man, that's for sure. You choose to be a Muslim. Alright, good luck for that, man. Behold, the plagues draw nigh, and are not slack. As when a woman with child in her 9 months bring forth her son with 2 or 3 hours of her birth. And you notice that every 2-3 weeks now there's a major event. Before you can even process one event, there's another event. That's how the thing go. That's how you know we're getting closer and closer to the end. With 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains come past her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. So this thing gonna touch the whole world, man, and we're seeing it, man. So I wanted to touch on this. I touched on it in the live stream I did earlier this week, but he repeated it again. Look, this is the Lord having fun. Listen to what Trump says about what America can do to Iran.
Very good shape. The main thing is we have to win this. They win it quickly, but win it. And there are many people just watching some of the news. Most people say it's already been won. It's just a question of when. When do we stop? We don't want to let it regrow. And ideally, would like to see somebody in there that knows what they're doing. In other words, they can build a country. Now, one other thing, we can hit sections of Iran and other places that, if you do it, it'll be almost impossible for them to rebuild their country. And we don't want that.
What he's talking about is complete, collapse. You destroy all of the infrastructure that the 92 million people rely on to survive. The water, the electricity, the healthcare. You completely destroy all the infrastructure, so that basically it becomes a failed state and just collapses in on itself. Most people become refugees, just gangs and death and destruction and famine. That's what you could do if you destroy a nation's infrastructure. That would happen to any nation. Whether it's America or Britain, if you just destroyed like all the infrastructure with millions of people relying on that infrastructure, boy, it's peak, right?
But we can hit electric, we can take apart their electric capacity within 1 hour, and it would take them 25 years to rebuild it. So ideally, we're not going to be...
See, this man, he's talking wicked. Yeah. And then he's talking about how it's impossible for them to rebuild and all this stuff. But that's what's going to happen to America in its perfection. In its perfection. This wicked talk that you're giving to Iran is what's going to happen to America. America's going to be a perpetual desolation. Perpetual desolation, man. Like, if these men love talking,
Thank you very much.
but it's going to come back on their own head. Yeah, man. Let's read this real quick. Prophesying against Edom. Right, Ezekiel 35:2 says, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir. Right, which America is represents Mount Seir. They're the chief of Edom. Right, they're spiritual Mount Seir. And prophesy against it and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and will stretch out my hand against thee. I will make thee most desolate. See, the elites and all that, they think they're in control of what's happening. Or we're in control, whatever the case may be. But one thing you gotta realize is there's really only one who is truly ever in control, and that's the Most High. And that's the spooky thing about life. The arrogance of man is that man is in control. And it can look like you're in control, but it's not, isn't it? That's life. That's how life is. Life, you are. That's why there's a saying, life comes at you fast. Because it can seem like you just got everything figured out and you know what you're doing, and then the whole world can come crashing down. And it's like, I thought you had it all under control. No, it's an arrogance. That's why you have to remain humble. Because you could be as smart as you like, you could be as wise as you think you are, or whatever. The Most High's in control. Your arrogance don't mean nothing. The Most High want to give you a bad day, you're going to have a bad day, man. The Most High take your wisdom, your wisdom's going to go. Yeah? You go from the wisest man never seen to the biggest idiot ever. The Most High can do that, innit? You see how the Most High had Nebuchadnezzar eating grass like a cowboy. You understand? That was to show that, yeah, the Most High is in control. And Esau's about to learn that lesson. in an absolute fashion. At Ezekiel 35:4, I will lay thy sins waste, and thou shalt be desolate. Thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, I will prepare thee unto blood. And blood shall pursue thee, since thou hast not hated blood. Even blood shall pursue thee. Yeah, Esau loves war, he loves violence. Really, he loves war and violence when he has all the advantages. He ain't gonna love war and violence by the end of this, trust me. You know, I love this, and listen, they got two types of people in it. You got people that, say that, you got certain boxers here, they love punching a man up in it. Especially because, they like to fight guys that, they're weight bullying them, or they got all the advantages, and they love that. They love the idea of there's not much resistance coming back in it. They don't actually like fighting. They like beating people up. There's a difference. There's guys out there that are different. They love fighting. They don't even care if they lose. They're just gonna fight. Those are dangerous people, but those are real warriors. Like, they will go up against it. They will fight the bigger man. They will fight with the disadvantages, and they'll try and win. And a lot of times they do win, because they just got heart and they got courage and they're brave. What you'll find is a lot of them boxers that are guys that just like to beat. They call them the flat track bullies. Like Anthony Joshua, he's an example of that. He's a flat track bully. When he's the bigger man, and he can just walk down on a guy and the guy's scared of him. Oh, that's the best AJ you're ever gonna see. But the minute AJ comes up against someone that wants to actually fight him, yeah, there's steam coming back the other way, he collapses with anxiety, because he don't really like to fight. He likes to beat people up, and there's a difference. Some guys just like to fight. Real bad man. Yeah, those are them serious warriors that don't care when the punches are coming back at them. They revel in that. When they get hit, they laugh. They don't feel like they've been in a fight unless they get hit. Real bad man. That's not Esau. You know, Esau's just he's a little coward, you know? As a whole, as a nation of people, that's how they operate. It's always underhanded tactics. And, you know, they always got to have all the advantages. Well, guess what? In this war they're about to go in, man, it's gonna get bad for them. There's gonna be a lot of dead Edomites, man. And by the end of this thing, they ain't gonna love violence no more. Man, love the violence when you're inflicting it. When the violence is coming back at you, it's different, right? All of a sudden, you don't love violence no more. You don't love the bloodshed. You love the blood when it's not yours, right? It's these devils, man. But by the end of this thing, they ain't gonna love bloodshed no more. Them man are truly gonna be seekers of peace. Yeah? Anyway, that's how it goes, man. That's what I would make Mount Seir most desolate, cut off from it. Him that passeth out and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men. In thy hills and in thy valleys and in thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. And I will make them be perpetual desolations, and thy city shall not return. That's what he was threatening Iran with. And he shall know that I am the Lord. Because thou hast said, these two nations, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics and Native American Indians, right? The two kingdoms, the southern kingdom and northern kingdom. He said that these two nations and these two countries shall be mine. Right? You want to possess the Israelites as slaves forever. You want to chip them. You want to number them and chip them and possess them forever. Nah, Rasta, it don't work like that. No go so. Yeah? That's not right. Yeah? And we will possess it. Whereas the Lord was there. You got all these plans and all these ideas in your head, and you forget that. Listen, the Lord already had a council. And the counsel of the heathen is going to come to naught. The counsel of the Lord, that is what's going to stand, man. And ain't no witchcraft you could perform that's going to overturn the counsel of the Lord, man. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. I'm not taking the piss out of here. So enjoy your time, Esau, because your thing's almost up, man. So enjoy the caviar, mate. Yeah, enjoy the caviar, because it's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good.